What is going on, everybody? It is Dylan with DFS, bringing you a brand new video. Today's video, I have Week 13's Thursday Night Showdown between the Seahawks and the Cowboys. Dallas at home on that home game winning streak. Been very hot, scoring a lot of points, not allowing a lot of points. Their defense putting up points. So yeah, let's get into it. You guys can see at the top right, I have my key, of which each color means. Not a whole lot to not like on the top, but it also contradicts itself with the way that the bottom scoring is. So, CeeDee Lamb, first player, most expensive player on DraftKings by 400, second most on Fanduel. He is above Geno Smith. 23.4% target rate versus zone. So anytime there's a zone pass, a quarter of the time it's going to CeeDee Lamb. So it's pretty good. Although, like, that's just zone, that's not counting man too. So his numbers are up there. He's got a 24.2% red zone target share. We'll see a little bit of Jamal Adams played slot for Seattle last week. We'll see if he does it again. But the big number is he's averaging 29.4 DK points at home. That is crazy. Him and the entire Dallas offense at home compared to away, their numbers are ridiculous. But yeah, CeeDee Lamb's numbers are just crazy at home. A good matchup in the slot for him. Not going to see Witherspoon, which is nice. So yeah, Dak, almost kind of the same thing. Averages 28.6 DK points a game at home. 17 touchdowns, 2 interceptions in the last 5 games. And in those 5 games, 4 of them he's hit 300 or plus passing yards. So more stats just to take in. Tony Pollard, 9,800 on DraftKings, 14.5. So third most on both sites. Seattle's given up 12 rushing touchdowns so far this season to running backs. 48 red zone opportunities. He's second most red zone carries in the league behind Christian McCaffrey. Fourth best PFF run block advantage. Averaging 20 DK points a game the last 2 games. So see if that trend continues as well. And then we got DK Metcalf, who is cheaper on FanDuel than he is on DraftKings, just by a salary pool wise. It's a good matchup for him against this Dallas defense. Gonna see some Stephon Gilmore for the most part. He's just got a 33.3% red zone target share. A very high number considering how much Tyler Lockett gets, but it's pretty much DK, Lockett, and JSN. That's it. They don't like to throw to running backs. Don't trust their tight ends in the red zone. It's usually DK or Geno Tyler Lockett with JSN getting thrown in there too. And overall, DK's numbers versus man and Dallas runs man the second most in the league are very impressive. Tyler Lockett's numbers against man are really good too. It's just he's going to see more of Bland than DK is. DK is going to see more of Stephon Gilmore, Stephon Gilmore is still a really good cornerback, but if you're asking me who I take a receiver facing Gilmore or Bland, I'm going to take Gilmore. So Geno Smith, a fade. I just don't like it against this Dallas defense. I find there is ways for him to succeed in this matchup. I honestly do. But from a roster percentage, I'm just going to have lower than the field, I think. Like I said, I do think there's a good scenario. I get burnt on this, but he's only had 2 games so far this season above 17 DraftKings points. Third worst PFF pass block advantage. Doesn't have his running back in Ken Walker. So I just don't like it for the salary. But to contradict that, like, this is a cheap quarterback, right? Geno Smith, I think, good quarterback. But he's the 5th most expensive on DK and 4th most on FanDuel. Usually quarterbacks are 1 and 2. That's usually how it goes. If not 1 and 2, then 1 through 3 they go in there. They're 2 out of the top 3. So you do get a discount on Geno. Brandon Cooks on DraftKings, I do not like his price point. On FanDuel, I'm definitely okay with it though. 10-5, so you get a good discount, right? Tyler Lockett's more expensive. Zach Charbonnet's more expensive. Just $500 more than the Dallas D. But on DraftKings, more expensive than Lockett, more expensive than Charbonnet. He's just really expensive on this slate on DraftKings. Fanduel, a lot more manageable. I like it. 18.4 DraftKings points per game at home. Good matchup for him. I personally don't like it as a whole. The price point on Fanduel, though, I do like that. It's a good one. Tyler Lockett, like I said, his numbers against man are good. It's just he's going to see Bland more than any other receiver on Seattle. So that's why I prefer Metcalf or Jason. But he's still got a very high red zone target percentage as well. I think it's like 24% or something like that. And his numbers against man, he has more PPR points against man than DK, but he's got like 20 extra routes. So you can go Tyler Lockett. He's the middle of the two receivers, but you think about 1,000 more on FanDuel, 1,800 more on DraftKings is DK, or 2,400. So like you get the discount on DraftKings, but on FanDuel, not really. Zach Charbonnet though, and the next guy, I do like Zach Charbonnet on the slate. Ken Walker, doubtful, 68 on DraftKings and 11.5 on FanDuel. Dallas has allowed 90 or plus rushing yards in the last 5 games. 15 targets in the last 3 games too as well. So a good opportunity for him to get some points in this one. Dallas's rush defense as far as points allowed in rushing touchdowns, not the greatest. But for his price point, I don't mind it in this slate. For a running back one on a team, in a for sure running back one, not saying that stat-wise all season he's a running back one, but you look at the opportunities he's going to get at that price point. It's a good price point. Jake Ferguson, I like him as well on both sides. 4th best PFF tight end advantage and a 25.8% red zone target share. And yet again, his numbers at home are better than away. All Dallas players' numbers pretty much are. The Dallas defense, 4th most sacks and 4th most interceptions. So gotta like Dallas in this one as well. JSN, the next one. I honestly love his price on FanDuel compared to DraftKings. I think DraftKings, if you need a pair, like a pay down to afford some of the top pieces up there, he's a good piece to get. But on FanDuel, like, it makes it a lot easier at 8,000. Overall, he has the best Seattle wide receiver matchup going against Lewis, who look at his numbers in matchups. And like I said, Dallas runs man a lot. So JSN is going to have that good matchup. 3rd most red zone targets on the team behind DK and Tyler Lockett. Both kickers are in play. Dallas 2nd highest yards per drive. Good, right? But only scoring 54% of the time in the red zone. That means a touchdown is 54% of the time, which means they're kicking the ball a lot. Aubrey gets a lot of kicking points. And it's the same for Jason Myers, except the stats aren't as good for Seattle's offense, but he's averaging 8.6 points a game as a kicker. So look at that fantasy number. We go down. Rico Dowdle, Michael Gallup, Seahawks. I mean, we could easily just put them right here. Well, it's not do Noah Font like that. We could put them as fade. There's not much to like on them. Rico Dowdle gonna get some work on DraftKings. I'm not paying that for a backup running back that doesn't get enough volume. Like if Tyler Allgeier's price is that, I'm paying Tyler Allgeier's price, but not Rico Dowdle. His FanDuel price, I'm okay with. That's a lot more manageable. Michael Gallup, his matchup is just terrible in this. And then I'm not trusting Seattle's defense against a red-hot Dallas team who Seattle's defense might not technically give up 1 to 2 scores. It might be the special teams and offense that gives up some of those scores. So for that fact, I'm just playing less in the field on them. Noah Font I have as a value only if Will Dissly's out. If Will Dissly's in, I don't really like Noah Font. But if Will Dissly's out, Noah Font becomes a value to me just because of his price point. Turpin, another value. There's not a lot of good value, like good at all. Now, this might change in the game and a lot of value might happen, but as far as opportunities, targets, all that red zone work, there's not a lot. So, Turpin's the next guy, 6,500 on FanDuel, 26 on DraftKings. I just like it for the special teams aspect of how good of a return man he is. He always has that potential, but it seems like he's also a 30, 40 yard touchdown, speed guy. So I like him for that aspect. And then last but not least is DJ Dallas, 1,200 on DraftKings, 7,000 on FanDuel. Gets the RB2 work for Seattle. Like I said, it's not a good matchup, but for his price point, I guess I don't love it, but there's not a lot of value in my opinion. Like the kickers is pretty much the lowest that I'm really considering going. A lot of this down here is just not good value. So hope you guys did enjoy the video. If you guys do want this spreadsheet accessible, just click the link in the description. Take you to our Discord. Very cheap subscription package, and you get all the spreadsheets for all the slates. So if you guys are interested, check that out. And then click the link, like and subscribe. That means a lot to me. Shows that I'm semi doing a good job. So if you guys do, appreciate it. And I will see you guys in the next one.